What's going on, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. If you don't know what this actually is, I'm going live right now with my fellow co-founders of Octaply.AI. I'm going to be answering the questions that you all pre-submitted regarding Octaply, as well as answering live questions once we get through the pre-submitted questions. So I'm very excited about this. Y'all know we've been talking about Octaply for a good while. Many of you have been messaging us, asking us a variety of different questions about Octaply. Many of you have already signed up for Octaply and are using it right now. We would love some feedback for everybody who's using it. We had well over 1,500 people waiting to use Octaply, so we're really excited for everyone to have access to it now. Yeah. So one of my co-founders just joined in, Chris G. I'm sure many of y'all are familiar with Chris because y'all saw him. Many of y'all saw him on the Tech is New Black podcast. So we went from connecting as guests connecting as him being a guest on a podcast to us actually being homeboys, and then us really working together behind the scenes, working on Solidify, which is his company, and also collaborating now on Octaply.AI, just being able to help more people get high-paying careers without having to do all the tedious work that goes into it. All right. Tori, did you send yours in too? Okay, I see it.
Mine's too low. Let's see.
What's up? I see a lot of y'all tuning in right now from YouTube, LinkedIn. Yes, Octaply is live right now. Yeah. Also, y'all, just giving y'all a heads up. Many of y'all have been asking. Just real quick, want to address the pinned comment that I have where it says Octaply.AI. That actually is the discount code for Octaply. So if you use that discount code, that gives you $100 off, $100 off the setup price. Sorry. All right, so we're gonna get to the questions. What's up, Sandy? So we're gonna get to the questions, but first we're going to address the pre-submitted questions. We appreciate everybody who's tuning in right now on all the different platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as Instagram. We're gonna go ahead and jump straight into the questions. Chris and Tori, y'all good? Y'all ready for these questions?
Yeah, I just did another live request. You may have to accept it again. My Instagram's being janky today.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
There we go.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
Good stuff. Chris, you might have to readjust it again on Instagram.
I think it's. I'm just gonna leave it like that. It is what it is.
Oh yeah, that's cool. As long as they hear you. All right, good stuff. All right, y'all. Look, y'all see us getting it together, pulling it together as we're here just to serve y'all, be able to answer these questions for y'all. I'm super excited about Octaply.AI, and I'm incredibly excited about what this is going to do just for the world overall, and very happy for you all to be amongst the first that get access to this, be able to utilize this incredible tool. It's going to be just really huge for not just you getting high-paying careers, but also it assisting you in scaling your career as well. So because we are short on time, I want to honor Chris and Tori's time as well as everybody who's on here. We're going to jump straight into the pre-submitted questions. Once we're done with the pre-submitted questions, we will then transition over to taking on your live questions that are on here. So make sure you stay tuned because many of the pre-submitted questions are probably questions that you're curious about, or it might be a question that you didn't even think of that's really valuable for you to hear the answers to. So first question that we have on here, and this is actually perfect, really perfect for Tori, because the question is, how did you guys come up with the concept, and how long did it take from the idea to conception? And that's really a perfect Tori.
So the idea initially came from us already building the prior software that we had, which is the AI funding software, where we use the true AI technology to actually apply for the lending products using a various set of data points and back-end conditional logic and machine learning. And that's just to give a high level of the previous product that it was birthed from. And it wasn't until I was actually walking my dog one day and the idea came up is like, if we're using AI to apply for things that are much more complicated, that have much more complicated data points behind them, such as lending applications, credit cards, lines of credit, and loans, I figured, well, why can't we do the same for jobs? And the fact that jobs are pretty straightforward, the resume has to be pretty straightforward, and the data points behind the job are pretty straightforward. So I ended up giving Cyrus a call. I was like, hey, what do you think about this idea if we built a bot that used true AI technology to apply for the jobs, create the resume for the jobs, coach for the jobs, and then even assist with the third-party products and tools for the job. And then I ended up asking Chris because he's like our technical person. He handles all the tech. So there may be times in this call I may say something and you may say like, oh my gosh, that's not technically possible. Take it with a grain of salt, because Chris is going to be the person who's going to correct me. But nonetheless, is that I asked Chris how possible it was, and in a matter of almost less than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we have a formidable, operational, stable, consistent product.
Yeah. So I do. And actually, my apologies. I should have done this at the start of the live, really addressing what OctaplyAI is for those of you who are new or unfamiliar, or those of you that just have like some questions about it. So just on a high level explanation of, I said echo is super bad. Okay. Let's say.
Yeah, I feel like that could have been my mic. I just muted it.
Okay, cool. Is it still an echo going on? Y'all let us know in the comments if it's still an echo going on. Somebody say echo. As I laugh really loud, probably making it worse for y'all. Is it fixed for y'all? Let us know. Give us a thumbs up. Or Tori, can you say something? You said no.
It could be me. It's not letting me turn my volume all the way down. I don't know. It's, of course, it's Apple.
It says from Tori. All right, do y'all hear an echo? Dang, y'all said they couldn't hear a thing he said. That's
no echo.
Okay,
you couldn't hear a thing he said. No echo right now. Thanks.
No echo. All right, okay. So Tori, I'm gonna let you talk now, Tori, and y'all let us know if it's better when Tori talks now. So if you could just, I'll ask the question again. So the question is, how did you guys come up with the concept, and how long did it take from idea to conception? And again, y'all, please let us know if it sounds better. Not perfect, but if it sounds like good enough that you can understand, Tori.
Beautiful. So nonetheless, like I was stating, the idea or the technology itself came from the previous software that we have that actually applies for lending products on behalf of the consumer. Nonetheless, if I were to just keep it straightforward and punctual, is that the fact that this software is applying for lending products on behalf of the consumer, things such as lines of credit, credit cards, loans, mortgage-based products, automotive-based products, we knew that the data points and also the products themselves that the software was applying to was much more difficult than the job. I ended up asking Cyrus one day as I was walking my dog, it just popped in my head. I'm like, you teach people tech, you teach people how to get into boot camp. And the biggest value of tech as a new black is how to get into tech with little to no experience. Well, the thing is with boot camps, it still is a form of experience in a sense, because you actually have to take the boot camp, learn the boot camp, and then it's all based upon your availability and your time. And then even post boot camp, you have to spend time applying for the jobs. And just from the conversations between Chris and Cyrus is that there are jobs out there like SDR positions where you can make $150, $120, $100,000 without having any technical background whatsoever. And I was thinking, well, why don't we use the software to apply for these jobs on behalf of the consumers that are using it? And when I asked Cyrus and also Chris to see if that would be easy, or the roadmap to that would be fast, and they told me yes. We tackled that product, and in a little under 3 weeks, we've made Octaply very efficient, very stable. And not only is it a job application tool, a job booking tool, a job assistant tool, a tool that goes well beyond just applying for a job for you. Whether you have little to no experience whatsoever, this is truly the product that gets you into tech with no experience, no boot camp if you choose to do it, but nothing needed whatsoever but a resume.
Yeah, perfect. And what I was saying earlier is I didn't mention, for those of you that are new to what Octaply is, just a quick high-level explanation of what OctaplyAI is. So OctaplyAI is a career and staffing AI assistant, and it assists you with getting six-figure careers and also major promotions. Now, Octaply, it auto-creates resumes and cover letters, also updates existing ones to be most accurate to each individual company that it applies to for you. So it'll take the keywords from the job description and it'll choose which keywords should be on your resume that make the most sense. Now, Octaply doesn't lie. It doesn't include things on your resume that isn't within your skill set or tenure, but it'll just reword things on your resume so that way your resume will rank higher for you to get those interviews. Because as many of you know who've been watching a lot of the content that I put out, many of you might be qualified. Many of you are qualified to get these high-paying careers, but unfortunately, there are not physical people reading resumes anymore. Now there's actual software. Companies have software that are reading over your resumes, and unfortunately it's technology that's keeping you from getting interviews. But fortunately, Octaply speaks the language of the technology. So Octaply can look at each individual company's job posting, and it can look at the specific keywords, and because it can communicate to the technology, basically understanding the language, it can choose the proper keywords that will allow your resume to rank higher and have that company's software be much more likely to select you as one of the top candidates for that role. But even when Octaply applies to the jobs, it isn't just applying willy-nilly to random jobs that fit that job, fit like your job title. Octaply actually looks at your resume and your tenure, and it specifically chooses jobs that it already is able to determine that you are a top candidate for. The entire goal of Octaply is essentially to really 10x your ability to get the best paying, highest paying jobs possible, and really just getting before those interviews. And also Octaply it is applicable for every industry and career. So it's not limited to specifically tech roles. So it's applicable to many different industries and careers. Yeah, I stopped there, but I just wanted to at least make sure that all of you had just a pretty clear understanding. Again, Octaply does more than what I just mentioned, but those are just a quick snapshot. But essentially, it applies to about 300 jobs every single month for you. So it's really great. All right, so Chris, is there anything else you wanted to say to what Tori said before we get to the next question?
Yeah, when I evaluate a business model, I look at the problem and then the barrier of entry to the solution. So when you have people that are either working a full-time job now that's in tech or not in tech, applying for a job is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not illegal to assist someone in applying for jobs and helping to automate that process, I felt like it was a good software approach to make. It was a solution that needed to be done. No one had really done it at scale, and Cyrus's audience and the platform and other platforms that are associated with it are trying to assist in the front end of getting into tech, which is the education of the bootcamp. And then after that, you still have the job of applying for a job. So being able to get your resume in front of more companies, and then to assist with the, I guess I call it SEO, but SEO from the HR perspective, and getting your resume in front of HR so that you're actually getting a fair chance at that job.
Chris, can you pause quickly? People are saying that they're hearing an echo from you now.
So he may have to mute his Instagram mic because the mics are going to get feedback regardless.
Can they hear me talking if I mute my Instagram? It just won't be through mine,
Yeah,
right?
you should, because my Instagram mic is muted, and I think they can still hear me.
They said the echo is devious.
Yeah.
All right, I just muted myself. Is it better now?
Yeah, y'all please let us know in the comments. Is it when Chris speaks? Is it better now? Oh, they said it's me.
So I have it because me and Tori have headphones in, so it's not going to echo as far as like the output on us. You may need to have headphones in.
It doesn't echo when I talk because I'm not using the mic. Okay, it's better. Yes, it's better. Okay, much better. Okay, great. All right, wonderful. All right, y'all, just a quick heads up. Someone said Octaply.AI. That's hilarious. That's funny. Watch, that's going to be a company. So I need to use headphones. All right, yeah, it's up and down. Some people saying it's good. Some people saying, okay. All right, looks like it's better. Looks like everything's better.
Okay.
All right, Chris, go ahead and take the floor.
I guess I'm not going to repeat the whole thing again, but basically it seemed like there was a need for it, and we could fill that need and help people get those jobs, especially those coming out of boot camps that already are working full-time jobs, or people that are working full-time jobs in tech. They don't have time for the full-time job of applying for jobs. So that's where Octaply came in.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and jump to the next question. All right, next question is, what kind of market and customer analysis did you do to make sure it's the right product?
So
we're in a unique situation with Cyrus and his platform, and also his community of tech influencers as well. So the market analysis is really kind of just reaching out to people within our network and just seeing if they saw a use for it, and if they saw a need for their audience to use it. And not every product that we create or that anybody creates is meant to be an IPOable thing. And we saw a big enough need for this just within our community that we knew that we could help at least the people that were associated to us, if not others on top of that. So we kind of ran with the idea and created it with the hopes of it being bigger. But if it just resonated with our audience, that was okay too.
Exactly. I mean, just echoing what Chris said, everyone knows what we do with Tech is the New Black. It's something that Chris and Tori care about a lot as well, even with their products. With Fintology and Validify, both of their products in different ways, being about helping people, and whether it's helping business owners or helping people, be able to get certain loans. And I don't want to delve too deep into those products right now for the sake of time. But essentially, at the end of the day, all of us have hearts about helping people, and that is what Octaply is. And everyone knows that my platform, the entire core of Tech is the New Black, is about helping people get high-paying careers in the tech industry. So it's just honestly just a perfect marriage between all of our platforms to provide an amazing service for our audiences. So, all right, next question is, all right, this one will probably be a bit more dedicated for you, Chris. So the question is, how does this work on the back end? Is it like Indeed, or does it apply directly via website?
So with the tier 1 offering, we are applying to different job postings that are found on Google and things of that nature. So it's not just going direct to site, but we also do have connections with sites like Glassdoor that help us reach more than one platform. Because if you know about Glassdoor, then you know that they actually have Indeed integrations and are able to house different job portals within one. So it's a combination. But we do have integrations with sites like Glassdoor as well to help us with that. But the tier 2 and tier 3 packages that will be coming out in the future do have the ability to apply direct to site.
Good stuff. Is there a monthly subscription?
Yes, the monthly subscription is $97, and the first month is waived because of the setup fee.
Yeah. So it's $600. We do have a discount code that's on here. That's the for the initial setup. But if you use the discount code that I have pinned on here, which is OctaplyAI, you're able to get $100 off, and that way it's only $500 instead for the initial setup. And then from there, as Chris mentioned, the first month fee is actually waived. So our goal, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, we talked about this amongst each other as a team, being fully transparent. Our goal is having Octaply be so incredibly efficient that we want people to get at least, like, we want people to get jobs before even that first month. Of course, that it isn't fully reliant upon Octaply. That's relying upon how people are actually performing during the interviews. And with that being said, we are working on other things with Octaply where it can assist you in your performance during those interviews as well. But we'll give a further update on that once that actually launches with the update. So next question is, that's a pretty interesting question. So the question was, someone was asking if we could add PayPal as an option to pay for membership. If we can, it's probably won't be something we'll be able to do until later on in the future. But Chris, is this something that we would be able to do sometime soon, or what do you think?
We can probably add it in. I'll look into it after the live.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Next question on here is, all right, how many times will you have to pay the initial payment? Example, once someone gets a job with Octaply, if they decide to cancel and they decide, he said, but they come back months later or a year later, hopefully it's at least over a year later. When you come back like months later or a year later, will you have to pay the initial setup again?
So once that email is specifically registered with that initial charge, you're fine. That one-time setup, I may be jumping the gun on the question that's here, but our biggest goal was to offer the product at a sensible price, realistic price, while also, of course, covering any operational costs that we have on our end. But once that email is registered with that price, you subscribing or unsubscribing when you come back to the platform, there is no recharge of that initial setup fee. Now, if you don't have access to the email or you choose to set up a different account, then yes, of course, you would be having to handle that one-time fee again.
Good stuff. All right. Next question is, all right, can you see a spreadsheet for all the jobs that Octaply applied to for you?
So
it's on the dashboard. So we have a dashboard when you log in, and at the end of every day, you'll see the 10 jobs that it applied for throughout that day, which equates to 300 a month or 70 a week. And then on the dashboard, you also have a link to the actual job posting as well. So it captures all the information for you.
All right. Can you view the resume that it builds for you?
Yes. So we give you the preview of the resume template. We're also launching different versions of the template, but the way that the AI rewording feature works is that you're able to re-summarize your resume by job description box. So you're able to re-summarize all of that, and then at the end you're able to see your resume like as a whole. And then you save it as a template, and that's what's used to apply. You can go back and edit your profile at any time and change the resume template or change the wording that it's used.
Good stuff. Next question we have on here: will Octaply be able to confirm and schedule interviews as well?
Yes.
So that feature's coming. To be able to do that successfully, we have a couple of different things that we have to configure. One of those is when going direct to site, for instance, we have to create an account for you, or if we used your email to create the account, we would need some type of access to your email, or we can use our own internal email client. So we have two different ways that we're going about that, because we would need to give the AI access to your email to actually be able to reply and actually communicate back and forth with the recruiter, and then giving us or the AI Calendly access so that it can see your schedule, and then it can use that to determine which spot on the recruiter schedule matches yours. So we're kind of plugging all the pieces in together to make that work.
Yeah. So either you guys have your own email server that you give us access to if you're worried about compliance or any other things that may be an issue on your end, or just access to that product. We have internal tools that will generate that email for you that you can have in a view-only portal within that dashboard. So either you give us access to the email, or we'll generate an email for you. But nonetheless, yes, we'll be able to do that.
All right, good stuff. And just a quick update: the time is 9:38. Chris and Tori, are y'all cool with pushing this to 9:45 at least?
That's cool. We can keep it going.
Okay,
because I wanted to answer some of these questions I've been seeing in the private chat also. It's not many. I've notated them to the side.
So we have one or two other questions that are pre-submitted, and then we'll be able to focus on the questions that people are submitting right now live. All right, so all right, does it help with optimizing your LinkedIn profile?
Sure. I mean, you'd have to like copy the stuff over manually, but the summary that the AI actually helps make for you, that would be a good summary to copy over to your LinkedIn anyway. And even if you do have a resume, you still can't upload to LinkedIn anyway. So being able to use the template that you make in the Octaply UI and then using that to fill in your LinkedIn, probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. All right, and another question that's on here. I'll take at least the first stab of this question, but the question is, does it optimize your resume based on the job you are applying for? I touched on this earlier. So short answer is yes, it does. A bit more of a thorough answer is that yes, so it optimizes your resume based on the job you're applying for, specifically by looking at the job description, and it highlights certain keywords, and then it'll look at your resume and look at your experience. So whenever it's listing, whatever the job posting, certain experiences are listed, Octaply will look at your resume and look at your experience, and experience that aligns, but your resume has it worded differently. Octaply will reword your resume so that way it better aligns with that job posting. Again, for the purpose of you ranking higher as a candidate for that role, and which the overall purpose and goal is so that way you're one of the top candidates to get contacted for an interview.
So it doesn't reword the entire resume, but it does take the keywords from each job description and then it places them into your skills section. And like Cyrus mentioned at the beginning of the live, this is not meant to be abused. You're only supposed to be trying to apply for jobs that are within your skill set anyway. So this is just because HR systems, they look for those keywords as to actually pull the resumes. Let's say 100 applications come in, they're going to look for the top applications that actually have the keywords and only pull those. So that's how we're able to ensure or to help kind of give you a higher success of actually getting your resume reviewed, which gets you a better chance of actually getting an interview. But from a technological standpoint, so I don't run on too much, this was a challenge as well, because not every keyword is going to be like a technical keyword that is applicable to the job. Because let's say for an Octaply job posting that we were posting on LinkedIn or something like that, Octaply may be one of the most important keywords of the job post. So we took a huge bank of different keywords and had to match it with them to ensure that we are giving people credible keywords in their resume and not, accidentally adding words that don't make sense, basically.
And it is reiterating that initial resume from the beginning. But as Chris said, it is not continuously adjusting that resume. So if your resume has grammatical errors, placement errors, even if it's not aesthetically pleasing, whatever those small iterations of that resume is, the AI will actually reiterate that initial resume that one time until you upload a new resume or replace that resume, and then it'll change the keywords moving forward.
But tier 2 will have a cover letter feature that actually will write a personalized cover letter to each job, because most of those actually are, a letter to the job and also maybe even to the hiring manager. So we have different things coming in like the tier 2 and 3.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, y'all. So that's it for the pre-submitted questions. There were a few other pre-submitted questions that were on here, but I believe literally just going to the website, you'll see the answers to those questions right away. Now, first question that I saw, so make sure, guys, so we have a few minutes left on here. We're going to try to get to as many. We're not going to be able to get to all of these. We're going to try to get to as many of these as we can. I'm going to talk offline with Chris and Tori to see a way, even if it's just myself, but just see like maybe doing this like bi-weekly or maybe even weekly for a while, being able to answer more of these questions, or just creating dedicated videos for some of the questions that you all are submitting. If your question does not get answered, please DM the Octaply Instagram page. Please DM the Octaply Instagram page with your questions, so that way we can make dedicated content videos being able to answer those questions for you. So the first live question I saw on here that I wanted to answer, someone asked, are you able to choose what types of jobs Octaply is applying to? So you wouldn't be choosing these specific jobs, because again, that would kind of not defeat the entire purpose of Octaply, but the whole purpose of it is that Octaply does all the work for you. So if you're actually choosing the jobs, then now you're working and Octaply isn't working for you. Octaply is able to find the proper jobs based on the role or the title that you chose. So let's say you want to choose sales engineering. If you're a sales engineer, or let's say cybersecurity, or let's say construction manager. I don't know, like whatever the title is. Again, it doesn't have to just be tech. Whatever the title is, Octaply will look at that role, and then it will look at your resume, your information, and then it'll actually go out of its way to find and apply to those roles that you are best suited for, that also will pay you the best bang for your buck, or best bang for your work rather.
So, and we also take into consideration your minimum salary requirements as well.
Yeah, that's a good point to mention. All right, good stuff. So we can. So Tori, Chris, feel free. So I'm going to look at some of the questions. So y'all, I'm going to look at some of the questions in the question box, whether it's on LinkedIn or YouTube, or it's here on Instagram. Y'all feel free to, if there's a question that stands out to you, feel free to go ahead and address that question.
So on my end, the first one I saw was reservations with recruiters, and it needs that human touch. Guys, we are not working against recruiters. This is a tool that recruiters actually, I would honestly push them to use and tune with what they're doing now. A lot of these recruiters make income from the jobs that they secure. So if there are custom iterations of Octaply that you may need to work alongside your current job force, this tool is the best tool for your employer, whether you're at a large company like Microsoft or you're at a small company like us, even us and my software. I have a staff of 57 members. I want to expand my SDR team. I have to go through 200 applications. We had about 500 applications, but post those 500 applications, there were about 200 left. And it took me a week of interviews from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. of nonstop interviewing. If I had a tool like Octaply to sort and refine those, I would use that myself. So Octaply is not a tool that you use against recruiters. It is not a tool to beat recruiters. It is a tool that is used in assistance. And then the next thing I saw is the Shees $600 one-time fee. I'm just blasting through these because there wasn't many on my end. Shees the $600 one-time fee. Guys, just to be very blunt, I've noticed that just outside of the science community, that people spend $500,000, $2,000 for boot camps that come to no avail. Or even if you pay for the boot camp, it's still doing nothing for you. Guys, this is a tool that you're paying. You're going to go pay $500, $600 for a boot camp. This is a tool that you can use that'll continually work with you and has a longer shelf life value. Once you pay for that boot camp, it's up to you to learn it or waste your own time. And even after you learn it, it provides no other further value than what you paid for. Weed out applicants that the companies use.
I want to say something to that as well, Tori. I want y'all to understand that, to add to Tori's point, Octaply is not a Octaply is a very quality product. This isn't something that we just stitch together and just put together and are throwing out there. Again, one of the questions that I've gotten multiple times is, okay, how long has this been getting built? Again, this Octaply is built off of the back of Fintology, as well as Validify. Fintology, Tori, you can correct me if I'm getting this specific date wrong, but the software Fintology has been getting built out for roughly 3 years. So this is a very robust product between both Fintology as well as Validify, just from the software pieces alone. And then also, even if we're talking in terms of the money that's going into this, I know between myself alone, I've put a little bit collectively, a little bit over $30,000 of my own revenue into the product. Tori has put significantly more, especially if we're talking both Fintology, Validify, and Octaply. Tori's put significantly more of his own revenue into that also. And the whole purpose, the reason why I mentioned this, to let you know that this is a very quality product and not something where it's like a $50 product that isn't going to do what it's supposed to do. And we're still putting money into it as well when it comes to our very premium developers that are working on the product.
Right. And the very value, as I stated, guys, you guys are going to spend $600-700. I really haven't seen any valuable, and this is, once again, I'm going to make it very clear, no disrespect against any boot camps, but the premium boot camps I've seen are around that $2,000, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 tier. Guys, it's $600. Whether you save it up, you put it to the side, this is getting you employment for between, and I'm not going to use the term six figures, because depending upon where you are, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year more than what you were making is much more important than some people who are making incomes below the median income of $30,000 or $40,000. So I did want to touch on that, guys, it's just $600. I know you may say, well, Tori, just $600 is a lot to me, but just $1,000 is a lot. Just $1,000 is even more. Just $2,500 is even more. Using AI to weed out applicants that the companies use. Once again, guys, this is not a combative tool. This is an assistive tool. So this is a tool that I would actually go to my recruitment sector. I would go to my back office lead. I would go to my HR associate and promote this product to them. Once again, we're assisting the company and refining the application process. We're not manipulating the application process. Recruiting background, and I think we will move forward to catch these methods. Guys, we aren't using any creepy methods or any sneaky methods. We're simply refining your resume and then automating the jobs that are best applicable to you. So if the job doesn't fit you, you're not going to get the job. Sorry, we're not here to sell you the idea, yeah, we're going to get you six figures and take any job. Now, if you say, hey, I want to get into sales, I'm a great communicator, I'm 18 years old and I want to get into the tech field, guess what? There's still employment out there for you that can pay you $50,000, $40,000, $60,000, $70,000. Guys, it doesn't always have to be $120,000, $130,000. And another good thing that Octaply will be able to do is, once you're hired for that job, immediately now you can upload and update that new resume, and then now Octaply can be looking for that next step up, because now you have your foot in the door, which is the most important piece. What path and cybersecurity will be needed in the future, especially with AI company? Cyrus, Chris, that would be a question for you in regards to the cybersecurity. I typed it in the private chat.
And just a quick update, I am going to, we're going to have to close out after this question, y'all. There's a lot of other questions we're going to have to close out after this one. And we'll be able to do a follow-up. So again, we're going to answer this last question. We're going to have to jump off. But please, any questions that you submitted that were not answered, please DM them to the OctaplyAI Instagram page, so that way we can create dedicated videos for it. And we will be going live more frequently to answer more of these questions and to update you all on future updates of Octaply. But you can go ahead and take it away, Chris.
If I was looking at it from an entrepreneurial perspective, I would try to create an AI pen tester, and I would use that AI to try to break into different systems. And then basically a penetration tester, you're paid to break into systems and find their vulnerabilities and then patch them. So I would use that. I would definitely make that tool. Absolutely. So that's a skill set that you're like looking into. Just definitely like cybersecurity AI penetration testing.
Yeah. All right. And other than that, y'all, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. So many other questions y'all are asking that I'm looking at. These are some cool questions. I'm like, man, I wish we could touch on all of these, but we're short on time. We will be doing more of these. Again, submit your questions over to the OctaplyAI Instagram page. So again, everybody, Octaply is live. We have well over 1,000 people already signed up and using Octaply right now. So we do encourage you to use it. But for those of you who would like to take advantage of the discount, There's a $100 discount code right there. The discount code is simply OctaplyAI. So that way you can save $100 and allow Octaply to do the work for you to get you these interviews, these high-paying careers. So other than that, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Send your questions over to Octaply Instagram page again, and we will see y'all later.